Welcome to the Boss Babe Share Your Business, Learn and Teach podcast. Here, women come together from around the world, different backgrounds, faiths, views, expertise, and countries with the common goal to lift others up, share their expertise, and present their most beautiful jewels of wisdom in business and in life. We're here to spread love, health, and wealth around the globe in massive, long-lasting ripples. My name's Jenna Martin, and it's an honor to be here with you today. Get a cup of tea or your favorite drink and enjoy. We're now live in Boss Babes. It's been a minute. I'm so excited to be back because it's just a joy to me to learn about other women and get to know everyone better, and also help leaders come forward and share their story and share how well they're doing and how they're helping other women as experts. So today we have Nichole Carlson. She's stunning. I love this podcast because we get to show off people like her with her expertise. Nichole, everything you do, it just brings this warm glow and always brings a smile to my face. And I just love your personality and that you keep it fun too. So just thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure because I've been following you for quite a while. So I love talking with you.
Yes. To you. Well, will you tell us a little bit about what you do and how you even got started on this journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So I help women in two specific areas. Really, I help them manifest their soulmates, and because I just manifested mine, and then I also help them. I know. I also help them get to 7 figures in their business by working less. And I mean, in a lot less than they are working, because it's so important for your soul to be supported. So, yeah.
Along the way. And I love that because a lot of people are coaching for 6 figures and you're saying, no, we're going 7. And that's what really sticks out to me about you. And that you also just have a beautiful heart and still have open doors to connect with people and are very genuine. So how did you get started on all of this?
Well, my story starts really in my 20s when I was married to a man that I didn't trust, and we were together for 12 years, and I was in a career. I was in software engineering, and I hated that career, and I had this perfect life, the life that everyone was striving for, and I was so unhappy. I was so unhappy. And I know that a lot of women are trying to build this business and trying to be successful. But they're not doing it in a way that supports their soul. And they think, I'm a high achiever. I can keep going and I can keep pushing. And then they get to that point where they're making 6 or 7 figures and they're really unhappy. And in my 20s, it was a wake-up call when my mom got sick from cancer, and she passed away at 47.
Wow.
And I was just like, life is so short. And I decided, it took me about 3 years to really figure this out, but I decided to sell my house and get a divorce. And then one day I quit my job, my software engineering job. I sold my car 1 hour later, and the next day I was on a one-way ticket to Spain, and I traveled. But yeah, I was just like, okay, I'm done. And I traveled for several years. And during that time, I decided to be homeless and eat out of dumpsters.
Wow.
And when I say that, I know like some of you can't really relate to this like homelessness and eating out of dumpsters, but I'm sure you can relate to being mad at money.
Yes, we've all been there.
Like, is it worth being successful if you are disconnected from your soul? Is it worth 7 figures if you are not truly happy and you're not living your life that you want to live?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we get to this new American dream. I like to call it the new American dream, where you're an entrepreneur and you finally look down and you're making money and you're doing well, you're successful and people are looking up to you, and you're just like so disconnected, and you're trying to find that motivation again,
Yep.
and you're trying to find that drive, and you don't want to walk away because you've built this life that you're supposed to be in love with, and
Right.
you're trying to do all these little things to fix it, right? And so you look at your relationship and you're like, well, that's obviously a problem.
No
We've
problem. Yeah.
we've grown apart, right?
Yeah.
And you look at your
Yeah.
business and you're just like, you just feel disconnected and you can't really figure out what's wrong because it's a perfect life. And if you aren't happy, with this perfect life that you wanted, you created, then what is it that you do want? And
Yeah.
so it's
I
really
can.
confusing,
Yeah.
right?
I can completely relate to that. My dad, a lot of people know he had Parkinson's, and your whole life can change in a nanosecond. And I became an acupuncturist and found that even though I loved helping people, it wasn't how I wanted to live my life every day. So I started that journey too. So I think it's so amazing how open you are
Thank you.
and
Yeah.
just helping women through this.
And we get into this thing where we think that we're living our purpose now. We've started our businesses and we're helping people, right? Which is the thing. And then we build up this business and we find that unhappiness again, where we have anxiety attacks and panic attacks. And we're
Yeah.
just like, why do I want to keep going for the next goal? And we start to lose income and we start to lose motivation. And we think that there's something wrong with us. Um, but I mean, there's a lot that's going on here. And it's not like, I would not recommend like quitting it and travel, one-way ticket to Spain and traveling Europe. Um, but there's a depth that just can't be answered, right? That can't be answered on like a 30-minute podcast. You really actually need to find the relationship with yourself again, and you don't have to let it all go. You do need to make some really strategic changes. Um, and that probably has to do with your relationship, your relationship with your partner, your relationship with yourself, your relationship to money. Um, because if you don't start to address the unhappiness that's underneath all of this, um, then you're gonna kind of do what I did, where you get this fuck this shit moment and you
Yeah.
leave,
Yeah.
um, it's scary. It really is scary, right?
Yeah.
Um, but we can't force ourselves to live a life that we don't want to live, even if it's the one we've built,
Yeah.
right?
I get that.
Yeah. And it's really confusing because, especially if we're doing our purpose work, and it gets more confusing. So I help people really, um, when they're in the beginning of their business, or even like when they're at 10, 20K months, I help them structure their business in a way that they love, right? Because a lot of times we go into business and we're like, okay, I'm going to um like start selling low ticket and then I'm going to work my way up. Well, that's not really what you're supposed to do. It's a way that can kind of work, but it doesn't really work because it's going to you're going to have a lot of problems, like not being able to, like you're going to have problems signing clients. You're going to have people ghosting you. You're going to have all these problems in your business. You're not going to be able to pay your bills. So I like to have people sell those higher tickets, help them get their client real results that are life changing. I help them skip all the in between, right? Because if you're already making money in your business, it's a matter of two things. It's a matter of mindset and your messaging, right? If you get those two things right, then it almost doesn't matter what your the investment to work with you is, right? As long
Yeah.
as you get those two things right. But a lot of times we're getting in our own way.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. Um, just because they're doing the best they can, they're working a 9 to 5, they have limited time, so they're probably a little frazzled. So I think someone like you coming in and providing that clarity and that confidence is so important. Yeah, and that you can do it and you can charge high. If you have time to charge low or that's your happy place, I think that's okay. But if you really want to start a business quickly and be successful quickly, I agree. High ticket is totally the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And we think that we don't really provide that value, or we think we need the testimonials and that we need to ladder up like we did in corporate, and all of that is not true. The truth is you need to find a coach that can find your genius
Mm.
and figure out how you can message that and put that out into the world. And when you find someone that can really get you and your purpose in the world, then you can charge that higher ticket. And it's not just about, just charging higher ticket. You can't just charge high ticket because you want to. You have to be able to know in your soul that you can provide a transformation for this person. And that's really the trick, right? Or else we would all be charging high ticket.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how did you go from homeless then, which is rough? Because I know we've all had rough parts of our life, but you really like made it a goal to find you and find a relationship with yourself. What did that look like day to day, going from that to where you are now? That's such a huge jump. Like,
S-
yeah,
Yeah. So I actually chose to be homeless. I had
yeah.
money in the bank. I
Oh, I
chose.
misunderstood.
No,
Okay.
no, 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 no. I chose because I was that
Wow.
angry with money.
Wow.
I chose to eat out of
Okay.
dumpsters.
Okay. Got it. That makes,
um, Yeah, so we get to
yeah.
a point where we're that angry with money, but I
Mhm.
was so angry, I was like, "I'm going to prove to money that I don't need it."
Wow. Okay. Completely got it now. On track. Wow. So,
Mhm.
how did you go from that to loving money again, from hating money that much?
I felt like I had made my point, and then I also was really bored. It's really boring being, like, homeless and not doing anything. So eventually I came back. I got another software engineering contract.
Okay.
And I did that until I started my business, and I started in weight loss coaching. And then I did the business coaching. And then I did relationship coaching. So I've done it all.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow.
it took me a really long time because I had so many wounds around money, right? Obviously. Like, do you really wanna go back to your spouse if you've been like, "I hate you, and I'm just gonna go live on the street,"
Right.
right? So, money and I we've had our fair share of fights.
Wow.
So I had to learn to, heal. I had to heal myself from, like, all my money patterns. I had to, forgive money. I had to forgive myself. Um it was a lot of work, and it's in if you look at your business and you're getting people who say, "Oh, I want to work with you, but I can't afford you." then you have to look at your own relationship with money. All of your business problems go back to your relationship with money. And we're so afraid to love money and desire money because that is not spiritual. That is wrong. And
Yeah.
God doesn't like that.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is if you are called to be an entrepreneur, if you're called to change the world in any way, right? Then you are called to have money. You are called, like some of us are called to be millionaires. We know that. We know that in our soul. We know that because we are supposed to be authors and speakers and go on world tours and do all these things, that we have to have that kind of income. So you've got to heal your relationship with money. You've
Got it.
got to do that. And if you guys, and Jenna, I have a healing video that I can give to you
Oh,
for our
okay.
listeners who are struggling with, because I created this video for healing my intimacy issues with relationships, because it took me 20 years to manifest my future husband. But I also use this for healing my money stuff. And also I had chronic pain for 4 years, and I
Yeah.
healed myself in 2019. So if you have any of these 3 issues, that video will really help you
Okay.
heal emotionally and physically.
Okay. That's amazing. Yeah, I think people are opening to the idea more of that you have to look within and make those shifts to align
Mhm.
more with that higher piece of yourself that can attract abundance and flow in all ways and attract in all ways. Um, I've heard a lot of women say that they are told to go back to like what their parents' view of money and stuff like that, and then they think of it and nothing happens.
Mm.
So, but I know it works. What do you have to say about that? Because I'm sure you dig deeper, and I think that's painful for some of those women to think, "Oh, I just have to shift it," and then they
Mhm.
have the awareness, and it doesn't fully shift.
Mhm.
So what's happening?
So yeah, there is that generational trauma. But it has to do with um like we have to look at our generational trauma, but we have to look at what's happening now. So I love to take my clients and be like, okay, what is your problem in your business? Okay, you are attracting people, but they don't have the money to work with you. Then we dig into that and start shifting what's actually working, what actually isn't working to make that work. And
Wow,
that
yeah.
shifts the things in the past, because then they start to realize, okay, now I'm getting people that are signing up for my 5K offer and they're paying in full, right?
That's
Because
powerful, yeah.
it's about shifting the results that you're getting right now, right? And then
Mhm.
when you shift those, then those things in the past are also healing,
Yeah,
right?
that makes sense.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we want the result. We don't wanna spend I've had clients come to me and they're like, "I've spent 10 years trying to heal my money story. I've tried out
Right.
for all the coaches.
Yeah.
Nothing's worked." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, I got you. I got you." And so they'll come to me and they'll be making 10 or 20K months, but they don't have any extra time,
Mhm.
no extra energy. They're working 10 or 12-hour days. Their hormones are out of whack. And
Right.
within 30 days, they're hitting 50K months.
Wow. Nichole, that's
And
stunning.
they're
And
working 25-hour weeks.
wow. That's so powerful. And what's also extremely powerful about what you just said is another common theme in the industry is that you have to align for people to come to you. But what you're saying is you not only have to align, but you have to look at what's currently happening. As a businesswoman, it's so important to do both, and they're both inherently the same, but I think a lot of people think you just have to sit there and align, but you do have to take feedback from your field and see what's working and not working. So thank
Mhm.
you. I think that's extremely powerful obviously with your results, but on so many other layers as well.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I love to look at the mirror. I love to look at, okay, what's not working? What
Yeah.
am I getting? Um, and like doing things like 3-day challenges and doing things like webinars or even like this, you get a deeper understanding of who you're attracting. And
Yes.
then it clicks. Oh, I'm attracting this person because of this. And then once you start figuring out how to use the mirror, right? The world mirror and what's not working, then you can start shifting things faster. Because if you want to change, let's say like you want to change your makeup, like you look in the mirror and you want to change your makeup, you don't change it on the mirror. You don't like that. You change it here, right? So then it
Yeah.
starts to become a game where you can change your makeup while looking at the mirror.
Wow. Thank you for that. That would have saved me so many problems and a lot of women that I've worked with. I think you have it further defined and healed and so that you can teach people more powerfully. But that I think that would say just those words are so powerful all in of themselves. So I really admire that the honesty behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then how did so then you started to do really well, started helping clients do really, really well, and then the relationship started to come in. Was that you just being like, "Okay, I'm doing well. I'm ready for the, next phase of having a relationship," or how did that start to manifest itself?
So in 2019, I had been having chronic health pain, like where I was in bed all the time. And
Mhm.
I started really working on my emotional issues in my relationship and my past trauma with my dad leaving and my ex-husband cheating on me and all of that. And I started really
Right,
working
yeah.
on that because I knew that the physical pain that I was feeling in my body was from emotional trauma. And I knew that that was related to relationships. So then I worked on that really hard for 9 months and I kept knowing that I could heal myself. But I was like, how do I get on the other side of that idea? How
Yeah.
do I
Yeah.
heal myself? Because I'm in a lot, it's not imaginary. I'm in a lot of pain and I'm spending like I'm going to doctors, no one can figure it out. I'm spending 24/7 on my body. And then it was just one day in 2019 where I healed myself because I just got so sick of it. I was like, you know what? I'm
Yeah.
done. And I remember the day I was like, "I'm so done with this. I'm healed and that's it." And so after that, I was back in the gym, I was lifting weights, I was
Wow.
careful, but I was fine. And then about a month after that was when I was like, "Okay, if I healed myself, then I can manifest my soulmate," right?
Yeah.
Um, but I wasn't thinking the word manifest and I wasn't thinking soulmate. I was like, I was in love with this guy and I had been in love with him, a friend of mine, for about a year. And he kept saying, I'm not ready. And I'm like, we should be together. But it wasn't working. And I was doing all the things that I'm available. We should hang out. And then finally, I was like, okay, I looked at what I was getting and I was like, "Okay, I'm getting all these because I gave up and I had started dating and I was getting all these guys that were like I wouldn't go on a second date with them. They were that bad. I was like, "Okay." And then I realized that God was telling me that I didn't believe in marriage. I was afraid of commitment. And I was like, "Okay, and it's hard to go from I don't believe in like I was very anti-marriage for 20 years, obviously, right? Um, and it's very hard to go from I don't believe in marriage and I'm never getting married to okay, I'm gonna get married, right? And so I decided that I was going to marry this guy. And I was like, okay. And I journaled it out. Like, I'm so grateful to be married to Marco. And then I meditated for 3 days. And
Wow.
on the fourth day, he came to me and said that he wants to spend the rest of his life with me. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
I was
Whoa.
like, it was night and day. I kid you not. It went from I'm not ready to I want to spend the rest of my life
Wow.
with you. And I was like, is this real? And so I did not tell any because all my friends said, give up, give up. And I didn't tell anyone for a month because I was like, is he going to keep coming back? Is this real? And he kept coming back.
Oh.
And then I finally started telling people. But about a month later, I was like, okay, I know I manifested you. Yeah, I've told you I've manifested you. How do you think you got here? And he was like,
Yeah, interesting.
I've been thinking about that and I have no idea.
Obviously, you're amazing.
And I was like, okay, I'm teaching this shit. And so I started teaching how to manifest your soulmate. And I have the ultimate manifesting boot camp that I take people through. And
Yeah.
they just got amazing results. And then I was like, well, we're going to do this with money.
Cool.
We're going to do this with money.
Yeah.
And then it took me a lot longer for that because I just had such a broken relationship with money.
Yeah, it's okay. We all have
And
things that are deep that takes
mhm,
layers.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started teaching it to my clients and that's how they started getting those fast results. And
So cool.
it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing with us for the community, like maybe where one of your clients started and then where she ended up, just to give them a sense of, how it
Yeah.
works and what is it like a huge course, a program? Like, are you,
So, a lot of my clients, they work with me one-on-one.
yes,
And so I've had clients, I had one client come and work with me and she was stuck at 20K months. She was enrolled in all the like the high level courses, programs that you know about, like the ones up there, that you should be making 100K months. And she was
right.
stuck.
Yeah.
And within 30 days, she made her first 20K day and then 45K that month. And then now she's making 90K months.
Wow.
I had another client who was making 11 or 12K months, and she was working 10 or 12-hour days, and she's started having hormone issues, and she just couldn't. She knew that she had to keep working that hard to keep that level of money, 10 or 12, 10K months. And so we started working together, and within 30 days, she made her first 45K month, and was working a whole lot less.
Yeah.
Um, so it's really a mindset thing that, and when I say it, it just doesn't seem like a lot. But when we work together, it's so powerful that they are able to shift so quickly. And it's just such a beautiful thing because I know what it's like to have a life where you're working 24/7 and you're not fulfilled. And then I know what it's like to have a life where you're not working hard and you're making a lot of money and you're fulfilled and you get to spend time with your soulmate and taking care of your health and your family. It's just like, what do you really want? And are you building your business in that way? Because if you're working 10 and 12-hour days, you're always going to be working 10 and 12-hour days.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that for a
Yeah.
lot of, yeah, definitely. So for anyone watching, do you have any tips for them to get started? Obviously, we'll have the links and everything so people can reach out to you if they want to work with you further. But what do you have any advice for today for, manifesting or um, making seven figures and all the things, getting
um
the dream guy?
It's really about making that decision that you want that thing.
Yeah.
And it takes, like, for me, with the relationship and the healing and the money thing, it takes some time to get on the other side of that. So if you decide today, like, I want to sell high ticket and I want to be working 25-hour weeks, it's going to take some time to get on the other side of that decision. But once you decide in your body, then things will start to change. You're going to start to find the right mentors. Like, there's probably someone on here today that has decided that she's going to stop selling that low end course. And she decided today, probably this morning, that she wants to sell high ticket and wants to be working 25-hour weeks. And now I'm here, right? So once you fully decide in your body, then you're going to see the answer. You're going to see the way. You're going to have the right mentors that are lining up. But if you're still like, I'm going to keep trying this, I'm going to keep forcing this, like, it's going to be a struggle.
Struggle, yeah, and I see that, and I see a lot of very passionate women in this industry, but when you ask them what they're and they see the long-term vision, but when you ask them what the plan is, they're like, "I don't know, I thought about this, but I thought about this, but I thought about that." So what you're saying is get clear on one vision and take actions in that direction?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, the thing with women in this business is, and this is a money block. And the thing with women in this business is we love what we do. And we
yeah.
don't think that it's a money block because we're making money. We love what we do,
Right.
but we're working all the time. We're working all the time. And that your soul is only going to put up with that for so long, because you need all the things. It's like eating ice cream all the time. Yeah, we love ice cream, but, like, if you're working all the time, it's like eating ice cream 24/7. You've got
Yeah.
to have, like, the other things
Yeah.
on your plate. You've got to have a relationship that that lights you up. You've got to have friends that light you up. You've got to have a health routine that you love, right? You've got to have the full spectrum of life. So, yeah, I get that we love our jobs. We love what we do. But if you don't know how to scale that back to 25-hour weeks when you want to, and then if you want to work all week one week, fine. But if you don't know how to do that, then it's going to be really painful for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can relate to that myself even, having to think differently because with my dad with Parkinson's and life can throw curveballs. How do you create a business where you stay afloat, you know,
Mhm,
through rough times and have the time? So I think that's
mhm.
so incredibly powerful. Um, do you have anything else that you'd like to share with Boss Babes while you're here? And again, we'll put the links everywhere in the description. This will be on YouTube, this will be on our podcast. So I hope. Women who are working 9 to 5s who have kind of figured out their flow know that you can, take them to the next level and we'll reach out to you because I just
Yeah.
see you've got such a beautiful heart and spirit, and I can just tell by your talking that you know what you're doing, and I just so admire that about you, the groundedness in it, and just how powerful it'll be for so many women. But do you have any last words you'd like to share, or last thoughts, or anything?
Find a mentor or a coach that sees your next level, that
Yeah,
sees you selling that higher ticket, that sees your 5-year vision, that sees beyond what you can see and
yeah,
sees it in you,
yeah,
because you're not going to see that you're that strong, but your coach will know. Your
Yeah.
coach will see your strength and your genius and will know how to get you to that next level. Will we just see like a little glimpse of, okay, I know that I should be working with celebrities, or I know I should be doing this high level thing, but I'm down here. So
Yeah.
you got to find a coach that sees that higher level you.
Yeah. I love that so much. Well, Nichole, thank you so, so much for all your wisdom and for making it happen and like literally going to the depths of your relationship with money, like literally. And bouncing back and going completely the opposite direction and finding yourself and just being a powerful force of light in this world. So, just thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And we'll again put the links everywhere. So, if anyone listening, please go ahead and check them out. And we'll see you next time. All right. Bye. Thanks for being with us, and check out our Boss Babe Female podcast on YouTube.